Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Fairly quiet Sunday today off the back of Newcastle losing against Bournemouth. Not a great day for us. The winning streak ends, the Isak scoring streak ends, and I thought, to be honest, it's going to be a pretty quiet day. Well, as we all know in the world of Newcastle, there's always something to talk about. And Lloyd Kelly, the man who has been linked to leaving Newcastle this summer window, there was reports that Fenerbahce were interested, that Newcastle rejected a £6 million fee, rejected an £11 million bid, which I think a few people had said maybe Newcastle should have taken it. Was it worth holding out for more? Well, could the reason be Newcastle did hold out for more? It's because there are other teams interested. Being reported by Fabrizio Romano this Sunday afternoon that Juventus are in talks with Newcastle on a deal for the centre-back. Newcastle hoping to achieve the fee, or their wanted fee, of around 15 million. Let me know your thoughts down below on Lloyd Kelly. Do you think we should have accepted the 11 million? We're right to hold out. And if we did get a bid of 15, is that a fee you would take? You let me know. Who would have thought it? The player that we brought in on a free in the summer is literally just, where are we? 4 months? 5 months later down the line, even that, or is being linked to leaving the club. It's an interesting one because there's a lot to it. You can run down the route of PSR, money, and what we're trying to do, because there's no denying, and you could see it in the Bournemouth game. I think it was just one too many for us, not to take anything away from Bournemouth, because they were all over us. They matched our intensity, they kicked us all over the pitch. But in terms of backups in certain positions and having the energy and all that kind of stuff, it's clear that we don't quite have the squad. So, but you can look at that two ways as well, because you can look at it as, if we let Almiron go for 10 million and we'll let Kelly go for 15 million, that's 25 million that we could potentially go out and put down on a right winger, on a striker, on a right-sided centre-back that you could argue is slightly undercovered in compared to the left. Or the other side of the coin, is selling Kelly just making things any better? You know, we're going to sell a player that, fair enough, isn't getting a lot of game time, but is a backup in another position. I think, for me, it's going back to what Darren Neal said and this idea of player trading, because if we sell Kelly on for 15 million, that's pure profit that we can go and spend, and then we'll spend it again, then we'll sell someone else, and then we'll spend it again. I think 15 million, I think I take it. I think Newcastle have to throw the sink at it a little bit and actually try and risk it. You can talk about Kieran Trippier, you can talk about Wilson, you can talk about Miggy a couple of seasons ago, or even a window ago, holding on to players. And I appreciate it. Eddie Howe is probably thinking to himself, you know, if we sell these players, then we might not have time to replace them. We might not have time to bring in another player. And if he lets everybody go, and then we don't get, you know, a cup success, if we don't get European football, and it's because our squad wasn't thick enough, and then he's under pressure for his own job. So it's like rolling the dice a little bit. But I think we need to do it. Not to say that Kelly might even want to go. I mean, Juventus play black and white, you know, maybe he's happy to just change the badge and go and have a bit of time over in a different league, but he's joined Newcastle. He's reportedly one of our highest paid players because he came in on a free. Does he want to trade that in? Is he actually quite happy where he is? And if we do get European football next season, hopefully he'll have a chance to get a lot more game time if we can start running with Premier League, European football, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. You'd imagine that Kelly will start to see more game time, with the likes of Dan Burn and Shaw getting that little bit older and still waiting on an update as to whether Shaw is actually going to get a 1-year deal extension. I think Dan Burn already got his. But he's not sitting that far down the pecking order. Like, all it takes is for one injury and he's next in line. But I think for me, it's not as much protecting the now. I think it's rolling the dice a little bit and actually bringing some money in, because we'll just keep holding on to players, and then like Trippier, Wilson, No one's coming in with £15 million bids for them anymore. We're held on to them because we thought that was the right thing to do, and it's kind of bit us in the backside. Holding on to Kelly could be the difference between Newcastle going out and bringing in a right winger this January window, or even just having extra fuel in the tank or extra money in the bank to spend in the summer. If we don't, then we open the summer. If we don't sell Kelly and we don't buy anyone this January, we'll open up the summer window straight away going, well, who are we going to sell now? I don't know if we should just start taking the opportunities when we're faced with, as it's been called, a bit of a PSR dream, really, a player that we paid nothing for but is on high wages. We're bringing in immediate profit and we're taking somebody off the wage bill. Now, God only knows that the minute he walks out the door or this January window closes, I'm not even going to say it, but fatigue, injury, anything else in centre-back, and we're looking at where the cover is. You could, if Crafty's on his way back and Lascelles isn't too far off, then maybe we've got just enough in there with Botman, Shaw, Byrne, and emergency backups from Kraft and Lascelles is actually enough to take us over the line into the summer without Lloyd Kelly. So yes, I think for me, if the talks are true and Newcastle are linked to selling them, I think I would roll the dice on the PSR, get the money in, and then just have some more room to play. Because we're struggling to really do a lot right now. Sell Kelly, bring someone in. Sell somebody else, bring someone in. And just have this kind of rotating door until we get to a point where we are able to build a St. James's Park hotel. Build, whether it's extend St. James's Park, build a new St. James's Park, get Sam Fender playing there every Friday. Until we start getting the training ground sponsorship, selling more and more. Well, it wouldn't be Asics, it wouldn't be this one, it would be another one of them. Start selling the more shirts, and still we'll start really generating this, or getting Europe. Didn't get Europe this season. I think that's another thing that slowed us down this January window. Until we get there, we need to be more fluid with how we are buying and selling players. That is our main kind of way to keep the books flowing, is to let go and bring in all the time. As I've mentioned before, if we sell Kelly today, we get 15 million today. Even if they pay over however they want to do it, if they pay us some now, pay us some later, it doesn't really matter. On the books, that's £15 million in for Newcastle. If we went and spent 50 million on a new right winger today, Kubo, for 50 million, we only have to pay, and we're buying him on a 5-year deal, we only have to spend 10 million this year. So we've got 15 in the bank, and we've only had to spend 10 to cover the first year. We're going to use the other 5 to cover half of next year, and then next year's 10, next year's 10, next year's 10. But by then, hopefully, we'll have maybe let Trippier go, or we've let Will, or someone's fell off the books, and that's when we need to really be rotating. But we're not doing any of that. We're just kind of holding players until they've got no value, and then letting them leave. So I think for me, if those kind of bids are coming in, I think we'll roll the dice. And that's nothing against Kelly. The other argument is we bought him for nothing. He could be on our books for 5 years. Just on it. We've got him on a free. Just keep him. We're going to need the squad depth eventually. The likelihood is, and he's obviously a good player as well. There's some teams who are interested. Newcastle weren't the only team interested at the time, and we're not the only team interested now. Teams are spotting him as a good footballing centre-back who just, as it happens, can't get in front of, some Sven Botman. Not many people do. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think we'll roll the dice. I think as much as we need depth in his position, we need depth in others more, potentially. And it's not just Kelly. I think Newcastle should be open. We've seen it before. We're open to selling basically everyone in the summer, and it ended up being Minty and Anderson. Yeah, you let me know your thoughts down below. As Kelly is linked to Juventus, Fenerbahce, could Newcastle be saying goodbye to him soon and waiting to hear on Miggy as well? And is there time this window to go and put some of that money back in, even if it's only a fifth of, what was it? They cancelled the 9-year deals because Chelsea were bringing everybody on 20-year contracts and all this stuff. 4, 5, 6-year deals for Newcastle. Get some players in. Thanks for watching. Thoughts and comments on Kelly heading out the door. 15 million Juventus madness. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.